Okay, it is now August 18th, Central Standard Time, in year 2014, sorry, 8:18 just became 8:19 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm about to play a file that it's pulling from the original app, and I don't know what the cause is. I'm suspicious that with all that's been going on, like earlier today I tried to call a lawyer who has helped me, based in Colorado, and I'm very suspicious that call was hijacked and his voicemail was that I heard was just a derivative recording of his voicemail, because it was not very good quality at all. For one thing, could be signs of something else, like just the live other parties listening in, or possibly the weather. But the weather was bad earlier in the day as far as thunder and so forth, but and rain, but not surrounding the time of that call, which is in the last few hours, as in the last 3.5 to 4 hours. I believe it was in the 6 o'clock hour here, and it's 1 o'clock earlier in Colorado, which is on Mountain Standard Time. That area, at least, of Colorado, the greater Denver area, Aurora, Colorado, more specifically, USA. Well, I'm about to play the original file of when, on the record, officially and formally and all, openly, I asked Dr. Lockman, the person believed to be my mom, most of my life at least, to go on record with regard to the note on the Snow Yoke Notes, in the Snow Yoke Notes section, called Angelic Comfort in the Midst of Targeting. I might probably share that note anew, where I share this here on the facebook.com/snowyoke, SNOEOAWC community page. That stands for Stop Non-Consensual Experiments on All World Citizens. Because on Sunday, June 1st, let's see, okay, the screen went out. I did not want that on the other side. Okay, here we go. On Sunday, June 1st, 2014, about within 2 minutes of 4:54 p.m. Central Standard Time, is when this recording I'm about to play is from. But one thing that concerns me is that at first I thought maybe my mom just repeated what she said at the very beginning. When she first picked up, I was calling her, she was in the car. They were, if I recall correctly, they were away for the weekend, driving to or from, it was Sunday, so it would be back home from having spent the weekend outside of Gunnersville, and I stayed home to be working on things here at the house, with regard to all the work I do for Snow Yoke, and I was also packing up for preparing to relocate at that time already. So that was just June 1st, 2014, and I wanted to talk about the experience in Angelic Comfort in the Midst of Targeting, written up in the Snow Yoke Notes section. And so I had already gotten permission from my mom, because she was somebody who was physically there that I reference in that event that's written up about, and the event that preceded the angelic visitation. And so I wanted to ask her if she was still fine to say what happened, because was the appearance of either real, but I think very likely not real, or at least not legitimate, but probably not even real police officers. Like I think they were pretending to be like NYPD officers, but let me repeat, I don't actually think that they were. I've had actually quite a bit of experience with the NYPD officers, and those experiences have been good. Let me knock on wood here. Okay, I'd like to keep them that way. And I'm looking forward to returning to the East Coast soon, so, I used to work in Witness Aid Services Unit. It wasn't for any money to speak of. I mean, there was some kind of a stipend, which I don't even remember what it was. It was very nominal, but I really did it for some credit, academic credit during my senior year of university. And I did get some honors for it. I got the highest grades the lady could give. There does seem to have been some tampering, not extreme, but some what I consider nominal tampering. But I'm gonna have to revisit that whole situation because of who was involved and all. It was somebody who had military intelligence ties that was assigned to be my advisor out of the university. And he was interfering with some other minority female scholars as well. And he's no longer there, and I actually don't think he's even any longer alive as far as I know, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It was told to me by the lady who was my direct supervisor that he made it very difficult for her to submit my paperwork for completing, what I'd done. And then ultimately he didn't put it through properly, but the things he had done I thought were relatively petty, like saying I finished, 1 to 3, not more than that. Let's see, June to July to August to September. Yeah, between 1 and 3 months later than I actually finished and things like that. So I didn't think they would actually, be meaningful issues. But with all that's going on now, I'll be revisiting, any kinds of tampering that's happened in my academic reports and what have you as well, when I get the opportunity to do so. Right now, there's some more immediate things. But, okay, Mom did mention to me that, like, the very next day that she went to work, and I think she went to work on that Monday. If not, it would have been Tuesday. She did have a police officer make the point to wave at her, kind of slow down in front of her and wave at her. She said she thought they were just being friendly or letting her know that they're helping to keep an eye that she's all right or something like that. I did not necessarily take it that way, and I don't even know if that was a real police officer again, or, I was a little concerned about the timing. When you hear this recording, you'll understand why, and I guess given the summary I just gave, I apologize for being so repetitive right now. I'm not working under the best circumstances, and I'm very, very, very sleep deprived, and I'm just trying to figure out what to say and not say under extreme scrutiny and surveillance, etc. But right at the moment, nobody else is supposed to be actually inside the house, although I know that could change very quickly. And the file itself is 5 minutes and 56 seconds, but something that concerns me, I think I started to say this but did not finish the thought, is that right at the beginning, I thought Mom was just repeating something about, she mentions Earthbound. She's just referring to the clothing store. And something that she and a cousin picked out for me, which was nice, some clothing. But, at first, I thought she just repeated herself. When I listened to it again, it sounds too exact. Like there was a delay, a holdup in the communication, and it happened to get recorded that there was a delay and so then a replay, So, I don't know, you guys can help me figure out if you think that's what happened here. Goodness. Okay, I'm trying not to have to refine the file at the same time, and I don't want to show which recorder app I used. Okay, so I'll be focused on this. I'll hit the play button now.
Okay, it's from Earthbound. Okay, it's from Earthbound. Okay, thank you. I want to ask you something real quick, okay? Okay. I asked you about it before, Mom. Can you hear me? Yeah, just okay, there's nothing to worry about. I'm recording right now because I just need to confirm permission. It's something I asked you about in 2012. You were fine with it then, but I want to run it by you before I say it on the radio, okay? Okay. This is 2 paragraphs that have anything to do, with you specifically. A car with a pair of men. It's about what happened in New York City when the creepy guys that may or may not have really been cops, that were probably not cops, or I don't know, but they were not legitimately in their cop capacity if they were cops. Pulled us over with the blue flashing light, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sheraton.
Right.
I'm staying at the Sheraton.
Right. So this is what I've already written about it. I published it, like I said, it's something I asked you about back then. I don't remember the month right now, but it was 2012. And I'm about to read from what I wrote, posted in 2012. I just wanted to check that you're still fine with it.
Okay.
Okay, so these...
I'm fine. I'm sure I'm fine.
Oh, thank you, Mom, but I'll just read it real quick, okay, and then I'll call in. Okay. A car with a pair of men pulled over my mom and me. She was driving and was in the city for a conference as a CDCP, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention representative. My mom is less inclined to think about and discuss such events, but recently she decided that she's willing for me to share with the public what happened. I don't remember right now if the car was marked as an NYPD car, but I don't think it was. There was a red flashing siren. Oh, it was red, from what I remembered then. There was a red flashing siren that the men used, but it made no sound. Okay, hold on. One more paragraph. You're okay with that one, right?
Okay.
Okay. We believe they were either not real police officers or were not acting in an official capacity. They pointed to a nearby gas station and accused us of dropping off a man at the station. They said he's a known criminal. We had no idea what they were talking about, but they gave us the creeps. When they saw my mom's CDCP badge, they looked at each other and hesitated. My mom sped away and they did not try to follow. That's all it has to do with you. The rest is a supernatural or pseudo-supernatural experience that I had following that to comfort me. So are you fine with those?
I'm fine with that. I
Okay.
remember I had a bodyguard at that time.
I do remember, but he wasn't with us. He wasn't with us for that event.
Because I was enjoying the rest of the night with you after the work day. So basically I asked him about it, and he said absolutely that's not legitimate, and that bodyguard works for NYPD.
Wait, you had a mouthful. You said absolutely it was not legitimate, and what?
He said, when I described what happened to him, he says that we did good not to stop, and he actually was, he worked for NYPD.
Oh, he was like off-duty NYPD person or retired.
Right. My assignment in New York City included, they always gave me a bodyguard who was an NYPD.
Oh, he was an active NYPD officer, so he was real and active NYPD officer at that time, and he told you the men from the previous night were not.
When I described it to him, yes.
That they were definitely not legitimate.
Yes. He hesitated.
Wait, sorry, say the last thing again. When you described it to him, what?
What had happened, he said that was that we were lucky, and it was good that we were able to drive off.
That was definitely what, Mama?
Not who they said they were.
Okay.
And another thing, he had offered to stay with us, but to stay, even though it was off hours for him. But since I was finished working and I was just having fun, he said, okay, he could go home. So we left.
Why were you, just tell me real quick, or I'll probably have to ask you after the show because it's coming up on when she's going to call on me. It's like 2 minutes before 5 now.
Okay.
So I'll ask you, think about it, what you can remember. I'll ask you more about it soon, okay?
Yeah, I remember it, and I think that was good what you remember. That's the same thing.
Okay, I'm just double checking because I posted it before I asked you about it then, but it's a larger, potentially larger or overlapping, but probably larger too audience from the radio show. So I wanted to double check with you before I went to that level.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mom. Love you. Bye.
The only thing is, I don't know if you should mention the CDCP. I don't know if you should mention the particular branch.
Oh, you mean a particular agency or something?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying anything defamatory or bad about them, so that legally that should not be an issue. But and I know they got renamed to not having the P anymore, something like that.
Yeah, they got renamed to including the P. So you can just be CDC.
Oh, okay. But I'll just say it the way it is for right now because I'm literally, she's probably gonna call on me like within a couple of minutes. Unless there's anything inaccurate or wrong or too uncomfortable for you in there or anything. Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay. Thanks, Mom. I love you. Bye.
Love you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, let me note, I mentioned, I think, in the most recent post or so, or set of posts, um, with regard to Dr. L, that she's not always that way, but that's what I've been dealing with in recent weeks, especially since returning from Vegas, when it started all the setups of people trying to, sadly, including Dr. L, trying to set me up for any which thing. Like, they don't care what happens to me as long as they can get their hands on my evidence and undermine my credibility and stop me from proceeding to write and share information, etc. So I don't know what got the network all agitated in Vegas in my most recent trip. That was mostly uh, within July last month. But it actually started on one of the very last days of June. But, that's the kind of rapport there just now with my mom, just from earlier in June 2014. That's the way I like to remember how, interacting with my mom historically can be. And during times like that, she very openly says, as she has in the recommendation letter she wrote for me, that I really have done very well as far as being her lack of hesitation to recommend me professionally, personally, etc. But something has happened, especially since Las Vegas, where so many people around me, sadly including her, have been doing whatever they can to set me up for something, and that's why defensively and proactively I've had to go ahead and share, record and share information that with regard to certain parties and all, where normally my focus is not actually on any particular party. It's just on self-help, motivation, inspiration, nature, metaphysical things, that kind of thing. But, well, the situation is what the situation is. So, thank you to everyone who's been supporting me. I did notice at that time too, I was having also more trouble breathing, as I'm having today. So, sometimes when you listen to a recording of yourself, it helps you to know physiologically, how you're doing. If something has caused you to be sped up or slowed down or having more difficulty breathing or to be breathing more freely, etc. And I have never just, gone knowingly and taken any kind of drugs or, done drugs or alcohol or, anything like that. Literally the most with regard to alcohol, we had a scholars trip. We were in Spain, and we briefly went to Greece and Morocco on the same trip. And my mentor at the time actually encouraged me to just take a sip, nothing bad, and it was nothing lecherous or anything, and it's a lady, and I like this lady very much, but I won't name her right now because of everything that's going on. And so from the university, well, we took the scholars trip, and they had a wine tasting. It was like, an official wine tasting, and you just sip. It wasn't like big chugs or whatever, or jugs, whatever you call those things. And just to sip a little bit of Vino Rosado, Tinto, and Blanco, so blush, red, and white wines. And I literally just went ahead and had a sip with the blush and the red and the white wine. And I learned that I have like zero tolerance for alcohol, because that was enough to cause me to have some negative effects, including some dizziness, and topped off with the fact that I did not even like the flavor of any of the alcohol. It's just, confirmed for me, like, I was never tempted, and I'm even like sub-zero tempted now to try to, drink any alcoholic beverage. So, but in any case, I'll close this file out because we're approaching the 20-minute mark now. And that's about the maximum where there's a lot less problems for the parties that are helping parties me to get things online to not be prevented from doing so by whatever parties are trying to keep me offline. So thank you again for everyone who's been helping me, and God bless.